All right, in this video, we are going to create a new tool frame for this pointer that I have on here. We are going to be using the 3-point method, and we will be using this fixed pointer. These are the same exact ones we have in the lab. I took my 3D printer file and I imported it here to RoboGuide, so it is exactly the same. So we'll be taking this fixed pointer, and we'll be taking, in the lab case, it's a marker. In this case, it's just a pointer. And we will be setting the TCP as close to the end of here as possible using the 3-point method. So what we'll do, we'll come over here to our teach pendant. We'll hit menu. We'll hit setup. We can go frames. And you can see we're in tool frames. Right now, we're in tool frame 2. So we need to hit the previous button to back out to the main screen here. If we're in user frame or cell frame or another, if we pop up and it looks like this, remember we just hit other and then pick the frame setting we want. So we want tool. I'm going to leave number 1 blank for right now, and I'm going to start with number 2 just so I have that as an example to go back to. So I'm going to select 2 and I'm going to hit details. So now details, I am in the setup. I am currently in 3-point, but if it's not in 3-point, you can hit method and you can go 3-point, 6-point, 2-point, 4-point, or direct entry. If I click on direct entry, you can see my entry form changes. So I'll come back to 3-point, and now the 3-point needs our 3 approach points. 3 approach points should line up fairly closely to these 3 lines that I have on here as reference. Don't have to be exact, but you want them to be fairly even. It is a good idea to start by getting your marker or pointer right to the top of here. We will jog it, and it's not completely necessary. It just will make it a little bit easier to start when I start making these approach points. So let's go ahead and make it. We will start with approach point 1, and I will start in this direction here. So I'm going to have the robot in world. So I'm jogging. You can see my jog coordinates here. I'm going to use these rolls down here, the roll, pitch, and yaw. I'm going to use these to manipulate that pointer one way or another. I'm going to speed it up here a little bit. So I got it leaning this way, so I'll go ahead and just start on that side. So see, using those rolls, rolled it one way or another, and now I can use my coordinate system so I can give it some negative y. Slow it back down here. And now I can get it close to that point. Let's get zoomed in here. So you see I'm fairly lined up with this line right here. I just need to get this lined up a little better. So let's give it a little positive Z. Slow back down to 1% when we're this close. Okay, so let's check it on this side. So we still look good there. So let's come down just a little bit. So that's pretty close right there. So I'm happy with that. I will set that as our first point here. So as long as I'm highlighted over approach point 1, and I need to hold the shift button and press record. So now that approach point is added, you can see why it was a little easier to have your robot aligned with the top of this one to start, because all I had to do is put a little roll in there. And all I'm going to do for the next one is the same. So I'm going to come down to approach point 2. I'm going to press shift, and I'm going to do the opposite of what I just did. So I came positive X roll. Now I'm going to go negative. So I'll speed it up here a little bit. And now that robot will flip around. And I'll have to do a little more because I'm just on the opposite side. But this will get me pretty close. So let's add some Y. Let me come up just a little bit. All right, so now I'm exactly on the opposite side. I need to add a little more to that to get kind of on the thirds, to break that into thirds. I'm going to add, let's see, some Y. Yep. I'm going to add some Y. See, we're starting to come around like that. Maybe I have to go back in the Z, back in the Z direction a little bit. It doesn't have to be an exact science. It just has to be fairly even and fairly close. So work your robot around until you get a position where you're fairly happy with it. I'm going to now align it back, get it more aligned with the top of that again, and just see what we're looking like here. So I'll probably put a little more roll in it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So now let's get it lined up with the top again. Come down on our Z, turn our speed down and try to get this close. Use our line our Y up, line our X up, then come down. Like I said, not an exact. Obviously, you want to be as accurate as possible, but not. Oh, that looks pretty good right there. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And you can see we're somewhat in line with this third angle here, or the second angle. So I'm going to save that. So back over here, make sure you're holding shift and record, and point number 2 is done. So I'm going to do the same thing for this third one. I'll cut the video here and get it jogged. I'll cut back when I'm saving and show you how to test. All right, I got our robot here at our third position, lined up with this third line here. So I am ready to shift and record. You can see here now it all changed to used, and it says new position calculated. So we have successfully created our 3-point method. So now let's use it. Let's test it. So if I come in here, the jog, I'm still in world. I am going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to hit our coordinate button, and I'm going to go to tool. So remember, we can go tool, user, joint, or world. And the other one I can't remember at the moment. We want to be in tool because we want to jog around the tool frame. But you notice our coordinate system is still up here, right? Because the second thing we have to do is we have to do a shift coordinate to pull up our jog menu. So you can see here we are currently using tool number 1. Well, we just set up tool number 2. So we need to hit enter, and we need to type a number 2 and hit enter again. Now you can see over here, our tool point, I don't know what graphically happened to our pointer. Our graphic went away for the pointer. But we have moved that point down here to the top of this, right? So now if I jog around, if I shift and use our rolls again, we are moving directly around the point of that marker. Notice this spot's not staying the same. It is moving directly around that point. So that means we successfully created a tool frame that will rotate around the point we just created using the 3-point method. So that's the test function. Just rotate around, make sure you can do that, and everything is good. You've successfully created a 3-point tool frame.